why do I keep repeating the past? I'm that person that watches everything. I bought so many programs, yet I feel like nothing changes. Over time, my reality stays the same. You see, in today's episode, I'm going to be answering that question, and hopefully that this helps you. So I want you guys, if whoever's watching this, to ask me whatever questions you have, send me a DM and I'm going to make a whole episode on it. But before we begin and we answer this question, let's take a deep breath in right now. And a deep breath out. So why do we keep repeating the past? You see, I know a brother that reached out, right? And he mentioned that nothing seems to be changing. And I know this person, you are consuming a lot of information. You are doing the right things, but nothing seems to be changing for you, right? So the only question that I really want you to ask yourself, right? When it comes to this, for anyone else that's watching, trust me on this one, this will help you truly see it from a whole different perspective, is how does this moment serve me? You see, you might have an external challenge that you're going through, whatever it may be, whether it's starting a business, changing your habits, or, fixing a relationship, or getting into a relationship, or maybe building your confidence, whatever it may be. Understand that when you ask yourself the question, how does this challenge serve me? How does this moment serve me? You start seeing it from a different perspective, whereas all this time you've been seeing it from one place. That I need to fix this. There's something wrong with me. That if I don't change this, then I'm going to stay here forever. And that's probably the truth, right? That's why it's painful. That's why you're here. But when you ask yourself the question, how does this moment, this challenge serve me? You see it from a different angle. For example, the brother that reached out, right? You've been wanting to sort out your habits and start, training in what it is that you love, right? And I noticed that nothing seems to be changing for you, no matter how much information that you're consuming, which is completely normal. I remember a time where I was consuming all the information in the world and nothing was working until I actually applied it. Now that's saying one thing, but how do you do it, right? That's what we're going to get into. So that question, how does this moment serve me? So you are not able to do it because of habits that are getting in your way, right? You've got a plan of action that you probably create every single week, but you don't show up for it. Now, whatever habits that are actually getting in your way, you have to ask yourself the question, how do these habits serve me, rather than seeing it as a problem? For example, say you're waking up late. You're probably thinking, all right, the only solution is I just have to wake up 2 hours early. I have to sleep early, wake up early. But you have to see it from a whole different angle. That's when things get messy and it's like, oh, just take action. And you probably do. You've probably done a whole week and then you go back. You probably took action for a whole month and then you still went back. You probably kept it up for even 2 months and then you went back. So the reason that we keep going back to the same old cycle again and again is about understanding that there's a part of you in your subconscious mind, your own subconscious mind, believes where you are is more safe than where you want to be. You see, there's a saying, people will only make changes when the pain of staying where they are becomes greater than the pain of going after what they want. So when it's too painful for you to stay where you are, meaning maybe you're hitting about 28, 29 and you're trying to get into a relationship and that girl comes along and she's like, I don't know if I like, I need you to be on something. I need an ambitious man in my life. And then you're like, wait, I'm an ambitious man. Trust me, I got all these dreams. And then she's like, yeah, but you're not doing anything about it. And then you're like, And then she probably leaves. And you're sitting there feeling like, oh shit, I can't live like this, man. This is heartbreaking. And that is one of the ways most people make changes. Whereas if you're watching this, I don't want you to wait till you're 29, bro. I really don't. I don't want you to wait till you're about 30 and you're like, it's a bit too late for me to start going after my dreams because I'm getting too old and blah, 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 blah. You make up all these excuses. You're here for a reason, right? So I'm telling you, bro, this works, okay? Simply find the part of you that is literally using these habits that you've created in your life as a way of escaping from what you want, right? How does it serve me? So for example, when I'm starting my own business or even getting into a relationship, one example that I love to use is people that you get into long distance relationships, right? Everyone that gets into a long distance relationship, they always complain about how they can't find anyone that's nearby. And I was one of those people, I can't lie. That's why I use this example, right? But the long distance relationship situation, everyone that's in one will tell you how difficult it is to find people that are close and that they can have easy access to. And one of the reasons most people struggle with this challenge is because they don't want closeness. There's a part of their own subconscious mind that doesn't want them to be too close. Because if they're too close, it will bring up fears and pain that they carry within them. Fears that they have about being too close to someone. And in some ways they can be that person that repeats that story like, it's just hard finding people that are too close, and they get caught up in this story. But deep down within the subconscious mind, what's really happening is, I'm afraid of people being too close to me. I was that guy. That's the truth. That's why I share this story with you. I know many people that still are. I know many people, I'm blabbering, many people that are like in those long distance relationships, and they just keep people so far away. And they're amazing at communicating. They're amazing when they're far. That's painful. I know it's painful to hear this because you might be that guy. You might be going through that as well. But when people are too close, they can't seem to connect with people. They keep them far. Now, we can see it as, that person's really struggling. How do you help them find people that are close, not too far, not in another country? Or we can see it as, how is this serving me? Now, when you start raising that question to yourself and you start getting aware that there's a part of me that actually is afraid of closeness, everything changes. So for you have to ask yourself, how are these habits keeping me away from my dream? What is scary about my dream? The things that I want in my life. What's actually scaring me? If I ask my heart will answer. Right? That's the best way to do it. Now, in the beginning, when you're trying to ask yourself these questions, you might feel like, nah, what are you talking about? I want that. There's a reason you don't have it, okay? It's not because it doesn't exist or it's not possible. It's just because you keep repeating the same old cycle again and again for a reason. It's because it serves you. Everything in your life is serving you one way or another. And until you start seeing it and acknowledging it, nothing will change. You can force the change to happen, but you'll only revert back to the old. So we go back to the example that I'm using in terms of the long distance situation. Once you ask yourself this question, how is this serving me? You can no longer keep doing it. The moment you're going to be communicating with that person, you're like, yeah, I wish we could meet one day. And you're hoping and wishing for that reality, that dream. You're going to catch yourself thinking, yeah, and this ain't that exciting. I don't know if I want this anymore. And you're going to start asking yourself deeper questions. Like, what is it that I'm afraid of? What would happen if I actually meet someone? And you become curious. And the moment you become curious as to what would happen, you start implementing those changes. Not because if you don't, I will be stuck here forever. I will be alone for the rest of my life. You're just curious. What's actually there for me? Why am I afraid? And you start having compassion to yourself rather than judging yourself. And that's when things just happen. Because let's be real, waking up early isn't too difficult. Most people who struggle to wake up early for their business, tell them that they've got a holiday in the morning. They'll be up 3 hours from before the flight. Do you know what I mean? They'll be on time. They'll be early. They might not even go sleep. It's not that you're not capable. That's the illusion that we tell ourselves. I just can't do it. If I told you, bro, I got you a holiday in the morning, you just have to wake up 4 a.m. You're going to be like, don't worry, bro. I ain't even sleeping. I'm going to catch that flight. So let's not chat shit to ourselves. I want you to understand that if your body fully wanted something, you will be prepared. You really go after it. But there's a part of you that is afraid of going after it fully because there's something there. There's something there that scares you, a part of you. And it's because you're not acknowledging that part of you that you keep repeating the same old cycle. And now you're caught in this whole trap of judging and shaming yourself. But nothing's really happening. You're only causing more damage and suffering to yourself. You want to make the change? Ask yourself the question, how does this serve me? Find the answer for that question. And I'm telling you, there's no going back, bro. I hope this inspired you. And if it did, drop a like, drop a comment down below, and let's quickly conclude this episode. How does it serve me? That's it. There's nothing more to it. Peace and love. Assalamu alaikum.